This is Capital Region Sunday. I'm Jessica Sims, and our guest today is Bill Marzalek. He is the Executive Program Director for Foster Care at Northern Rivers Family of Services. First off, where did the idea from the Northern Rivers Family of Services come from?
Well, Northern Rivers is really a parent company for both Parsons Child and Family Center and Northeast Parent-Child Society. Two nonprofits, very large nonprofits that are in the Albany and Capital Region. Probably 4 years ago, 5 years ago now, really it was the idea where pulling these two agencies together through a parent company would allow us for some consistencies and consolidation of some services to hopefully help us provide services more efficiently and better.
So is there a difference between the Parsons Child and Family Center or Northeast Parent and Child Society? Do they do different things or just different organizations, one umbrella?
They do pretty much most of the same stuff. Both agencies do residential care. Both agencies do foster care. Both agencies have a mental health clinic. They may have contracts with different people in different ways, but for the most part, we're both providing social services to people of the community.
And how long have you been with the organization? Was there something in particular that drew you to it?
I've been working in the social services field for close to 20 years now, I think, and I've been with Northeast technically for about 11 years now. When I came back to New York State, grew up around here, and I came back to New York State, I started just working with families and nonprofits in the area, and foster care was something that I just kind of found and enjoyed working in.
And, a good friend of mine was a foster parent. They have since adopted the little boy that they were fostering. And, I was always curious, what exactly does it mean to be a foster parent? What does that actually entail?
The whole idea is that we want strong communities, and foster parents are part of strong communities. So a lot of times what happens is when children need to be removed from their biological families, we want to place them in homes. We don't want to place them in residential centers. We want them to live with families. So fostering, you can foster to adopt, you can foster for reunification. Our number one goal whenever we take children into our care is always to reunify that family, because our goal in the end is to strengthen our communities. We want those families that were struggling and had to have their children removed, we want to be able to get the children back in that home and have them able to do what they need to do to parent their children successfully and be successful in their communities. Now, the adoption piece, sometimes it can't happen. So when you can't get children returned to home and a termination of parental rights may be filed and the rights of those children may be terminated, a lot of our foster parents will adopt those children because they've been living there for, could be 2, 3, 4 years. So a lot of those parents, they're just going to take that next step and adopt those children into their home and give them a permanent family.
What type of process do you have to go through to become a foster parent?
Foster parenting is a lot of state regulations, a lot of training, a lot of background checking. So we do things like we provide what's called a MAP training, which is a mutual approach to partnerships in parenting, I think is what it stands for. And that is really, it's a 30-hour course that you take over roughly 2 months. And the course is designed to help you understand and learn about fostering, learn about the children that we serve, learn about the families that you're working with. You learn about the behaviors and all those types of things. And then once the trainings are completed, actually I'll say all these things are being done simultaneously. We do background checks. You see a lot in the news, and we do background checks, criminal history checks. We do child abuse checks, sexual abuse checks, driver's abstract checks. We basically do all the background checks that we can do to find out, if there's anything in the person's history that wants to be a foster parent. We do a full assessment on the home, so it's a home study, we call it. And we have our program people who take all the information that comes out of the trainings, take all the background checks and everything that are done, sit with the families, talk about any things that may have come up. The goal is to process through all those things to make sure that, we're certifying good homes that can take care of our children. Our agency's model is to support our foster parents. We have 24-hour on-call numbers, so 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. There's always somebody that a foster parent can call if they're having an issue going on in the home with a foster child.
So if somebody might be interested in becoming a foster parent, I think it's probably a good question to ask. What is a typical foster child like? I mean, how do you go into that situation?
It's a question a lot of people ask, and there really is no typical foster child. I mean, really, it kind of shoots the gamut because we serve children anywhere from 0, a child who literally just came out of the hospital, newborn, up to we serve children that are 21 years of age. Because you can stay in foster care after age 18 if you are going to college and doing certain things. As far as the typical foster child, there are children with lots of significant behaviors due to trauma, significant physical abuse, mental abuse, drug addictions, and things like that. And then there are those families that are just struggling to get by, and they can't care for their children at that time, and those children come into care and have less behaviors and needs that are associated with them. So one thing that we do when we certify homes is we talk with our families about what are you prepared for. Not everybody is prepared for every child. So we try to do a matching process that we understand what families are interested in serving, because placing a newborn baby in a family that doesn't want to serve newborn families is not a good match.
And what makes being a foster parent with Northern Rivers different from other organizations?
I think the support that we give our families. We believe that it's a team philosophy that helps families be successful, and we're about strengthening communities. I've said that a few times already, is that foster parents are part of a team that helps strengthen your communities. And we want to make sure that we're supporting our families through that, because a foster family out there on their own, taking care of children, is not going to be as successful as a foster family that feels that they have a team behind them, a team of people that they can call, talk with, and that will support them through, help them resolve issues with the children, help them resolve issues with the biological families. There's a lot of complexity to the foster care system, and you need a lot of support to get through it.
What's the saying? It takes a village. It really does.
Absolutely.
And I read a little about the Give Hope a Home campaign. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, Give Hope a Home is our campaign to find foster families, because there's never enough foster families. The more homes you have, the greater ability you have to match better. We want to find homes that are able to be flexible and can give what we believe is hope for the children, give that hope a home, because many of our children come into us with trauma, and they're in a place where their hope is at an all-time low. So what we kind of coined that phrase, hoping that would kind of trigger families to see, hey, I have a home that I can give that hope to, and I want to bring children in and help these children be successful in their communities.
If someone wanted to begin the process to become a foster parent, how would they do that?
Well, you can contact us at our website, which is www.givehopeahome.org. And the other place is we have a 1-844 number, and it's 1-844-855-CARE, and you can call that number. You leave your message with a answering service, because we cover a large area, and what that answering service will do is we'll contact the recruiter in your area, and then they'll have that recruiter get back to you to answer questions, get to know what your interests are, and see what they can do to help you through the process. You can also contact us at our Facebook page, which is Give Hope a Home on Facebook, where you can find lots of information.
Speaking of area, what areas do you cover?
We have offices in Queensbury. We have offices in Johnstown, Albany, Schenectady, Oneonta, Binghamton, and Hudson.
All over the place. What's one thing you want people to take away from Northern Rivers?
I think one of the most important things that I really want to get out there for families is that we need lots of foster families. The more foster families we have, the better we can match and place children with. We want children to live in homes where they're getting their needs met, in homes that want to work towards getting those children towards permanency and helping those children reunite. So really the message that I have for everybody is, if you're just thinking about it, feel free to give us a call. We can answer lots of questions. Many people who are just thinking about being foster parents It usually takes them several years before they actually move forward to being foster parents because they're just thinking about it. They're asking some questions. They're asking their friends. We can always put you in contact with the foster parent if you have questions to be able to ask them things about what it is to be a foster parent. But the more people we have out there doing this, the better chances we have for success.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate you talking to me for a little while. That was Bill Marszalek. He is the Executive Program Director for Foster Care at Northern Rivers Family of Services. I'm Jessica Sims, and this is Capital Region Sunday.